Welcome, everybody. Big week to celebrate Aztec victories. I'd like to congratulate Coach Friesen and the Aztec soccer team for Mountain West Conference title. I'd like to thank Rocky Long for taking my call right at the end of that game to go for two. That's why he took the time out. I had to talk to him. So thanks, Rocky, for taking my advice. And then women's cross country for winning the Titan Invitational. So a lot of great things happening on the Mesa, which is a tribute to the coaches we have here and Jim Sturk, our athletic director. So we're proud of everybody. I hear we have a poll out in Mountain West men's basketball that's picking us to win the league. I think we've been picked to win it 3 times and have done so twice. So let's hope we continue the percentage and get another one this year. Those polls are interesting because the media votes on them. It's speculation. It's looking at things on paper, you know, seeing what we return, what everyone returns, what they think the new guys are going to be like. But the reality is we get to see firsthand when we open the season what everybody has. And as coaches, we're also fans, and we can't wait to watch the Rebels play, the Lobos, and kind of see what they look like early in the season. We have a feel for our own team. We're progressing nicely. Practice is going really well. We're mostly working on our man-to-man defense and offense. Obviously, we know that the Syracuse game looms. So after our inter-squad scrimmage on Friday, we're going to start Saturday with our zone offense. Obviously, those who have watched us over the years know we don't play a lot of zone, so it will be a challenge for us to get our zone offense together this early in the season. To continue with Syracuse, they're obviously the best zone team in the country. Most of the zones we face during the season, if we score 2 or 3 quick baskets, they'll get out of the zone. But Syracuse is committed to it, and it'll be a real challenge for our coaching staff to watch tape, which we've already started to do, and find ways to put our players in positions to be successful against Syracuse. The team is working really hard. We've stayed injury-free in the preseason. James Johnson missed yesterday's practice with a little bout of the flu, but we expect him back either today or tomorrow, and we've been healthy and we're making progress. So with that, I will take any questions you might have. Any questions?
Dutch, you know, with Syracuse and that zone defense, are you thinking of giving them a little bit of their own medicine with your own zone?
You know, Coach Fisher, he loves the zone until someone scores against it, and then we're out of it. So I've worked with Coach for, I don't know, 25 years, and we always say, well, let's put a zone in. But I've come to the point now to know that let's not waste our time, Coach, because as soon as they score a basket, you're not going to stay in it anyway. So we could give up 10 threes in our man-to-man, but if we give up 1 against the zone, we're getting out of it. So we don't play zone, we never have, and we probably never will. So Syracuse will be a challenge because not only is the game against a great defensive team, but it's being played outdoors. And like all coaches, we look at stats. We looked at the Michigan State-North Carolina game from last year on the ship. Michigan State was 2 for 22 from three-point range. So we will spend a little time shooting the ball outside. I don't know when or where that will happen, but we've got to be prepared to shoot in a little different conditions than we have at VAS Arena.
Will you get an opportunity to do anything on the flight deck before the game at all, or is it just when the game goes, your pregame warm-ups and that's it?
I think the day before each team is going to get an hour on the floor. So we'll get some time on the floor to have a shoot around, to see what the conditions are like, and get a little feel for it. But we'll try to find maybe a little outdoor time. You know us coaches, we overthink everything. So we'll find a way to practice outside and get some outside shooting in also before we get onto the ship.
Coach, you talked about how the media makes this preseason poll and does all these picking, but when you and your coaching staff look at this team, do you think this might be the best team San Diego State's ever put on the floor?
You know, that's a long ways from answering that question. The 34-3 team was special, and to come anywhere near that would be a tremendous feat. But obviously we have the talent, we have the veteran leadership, and we have a chance to be a really good team. Whether we'll ever reach a record like that again, that remains to be seen. But we will be competitive, we will be good, and we'll see how all the pieces fit when we start playing for real.
That's next week, right?
We play November 1st. We have an exhibition game against San Marcos, And then I believe November 5th we play UCSD. So that'll give us a chance to put them out there with the lights on, with the fans in the stands, and that's a good indication how the freshmen respond. We have something everybody has, it's game slippage. So the freshmen will get out there, they'll get under the lights, the crowd will be probably really raucous, being it's sold out. The preseason tickets are all part of our season ticket package. And so we should have a decent crowd for that game, and we'll see how they respond to a little different than a practice setting. So that's what I'm most interested to see, is how the freshmen respond when we actually play somebody else.
When you play those exhibition games, the freshmen play, did that make them ineligible for redshirting, or could they actually redshirt after playing if that's something you guys decide to do?
That rule has changed. Freshmen can now play in exhibition games and still redshirt. So we haven't talked to anybody about redshirting right now. We want them all competing. We want them all fighting for minutes, and I think we're playing with a head coach that's not afraid to start freshmen if they're good enough. So everybody's playing for spots in the lineup right now. We're mixing the teams. We do not have a starting five out there yet that we would say this is our starting five, and we're competing for minutes at every spot, and that really makes for great practice settings and great competition in practice.
Do you like the number 20 preseason ranking in the coaches poll, or to mean anything to you, or do you like that spot where you are right there?
You know, I think it's great being ranked. And from a selfish standpoint, recruiting-wise, that always helps. You know, Tony and I are out there with Mark Fisher, David Velasquez. We're all out there, you know, checking the recruiting wires and calling these kids and emailing them. And it's good when we can send out positive information like that to say, hey, we're ranked. You know, why not consider us? Why not say San Diego State is the best program in the West? And if we can get you, we can continue to be. So we use that as recruiting bullet board material for these kids to look at and say, you know, why not look at us, and why not continue to come here and build this thing? So the rankings are nice in that regards. Other than that, you know, sometimes it's good to be the underdog. If you're not the underdog, then you got to spin it and, hey, people believe in us and we believe in you, and that's the message we're sending out. We believe in this team. And we believe the rankings deserved, and now we just got to show everybody that their belief in us is going to be realized with performance on the floor.
And Coach, with those two exhibitions coming up, how much impact will those two exhibitions have on setting a starting lineup or even a rotation for the Syracuse game?
I think they'll have a lot to do with that. We've already scrimmaged once with the entire team where it was pretty competitive. We went 4 10-minute segments, and we got a good idea of who was where in the lineup. We'll scrimmage again Friday. That will give us more indication as to who's figuring things out quickest and who's being most productive. And then the 2 exhibition games will be the kind of end of that formula to see what our most productive lineups are as we start the year. So obviously the exhibition games are very important to deciding who will start and what our rotation will be.
But you've been at this school for a long time, and there hasn't been many years like this where you rattle off some of the success that's been going on this fall right now. Can you speak to maybe where it was when you first arrived to where it is now, not just with the basketball team, but the campus athletic department as a whole, and the feeling on campus about the sports programs right now?
Yeah, obviously winning begets winning. And when basketball's winning and soccer's winning and football's winning, everybody raises the bar a little bit. And, you know, you don't want to be the team on campus that's not winning. And with everybody having such great success right now, it not only motivates the coaches, but it motivates the athletes to say we can have the same success. And it's been incredibly fun to be on the Mesa. It's every team is performing at high levels, and if they're not, it's not due to not trying or not having a goal of being the best in the conference. So it's really fun to see the other coaches in the hallways and give them a pat on the back and say, keep up the good work, and we're going to try to do our best to keep it going ourselves.
That means your coaches will take your phone calls even.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's obviously everyone knows it's fun when you win. And so we're all having a good time right now, and we want to continue to do that. We want to keep our end of it up as a men's basketball program and continue the success we've enjoyed over the last 7 years. 7 20-win seasons, and the last 4 seasons, 25 or more wins a season. So we want to continue that, and we're enjoying it, and I know the fans are, obviously, because they're buying the tickets and they're coming out to support us.
And Coach, how different are the practices you guys are running now compared to the practices you guys will do once the season actually gets underway?
You know, Coach Fisher, we generally go about 2.5 hours a practice session. I know back in the day when Coach was younger, he might go 3 hours longer, but 2.5 is a little long right now. As we continue to progress toward the season, we'll start to taper. During season, it might drop early in the year to a couple hours, and then by the time we reach conference, maybe an hour and a half at the most. So we obviously taper back. The coaches always have a thing where we worry if we're in shape. And are we running them too much where we're tired, or are we not running them enough where we're not in shape? There's always that fine line as a coach where you try to answer, how hard are we going? Is it hard enough, or are we tiring them out, or are we not getting enough work? So we walk that line as a coaching staff. Everybody has a different opinion always, but I feel right now that we're in pretty good shape as a team. Our legs seem to be there, and we found it over the last couple of years the tapering has been better for us, to have fresh legs for games. And a lot of times that shows when a player might miss a day or two with an injury or an illness, and he comes back and he's like going at twice the speed as everybody else on the floor, and then you sit there as a coach and go, we need to give him some rest. So we always walk that line between rest and work, and over the last couple of years we've erred more on the rest side.
And Coach, have there been any surprises in practices, like guys really standing out that you maybe didn't expect before?
You know, we had expectations for all of them. I would say based on the first scrimmage, J.J. O'Brien probably stood out in my mind. He played very well. And the thing with this team is you've got to be able to play multiple positions if you want to get on the floor and extend your minutes. And J.J.'s proven that he can play point guard all the way through center for us. He can play all 5 positions. And that gives him opportunity. Jamal, you know, obviously is on the watch board as a great perimeter player, but last year he was our starting power forward at 6'5". And I don't think anybody was amazed that he led the conference in scoring, that it was second in rebounding. So versatility has always been a trademark of Coach Fisher's teams and Aztec teams. And so the more versatile these guys are in practice, the more it will translate to game minutes for them once the season starts.
And Coach, James Rayhan, he had that off-season foot injury and the hand injury. Has he been bothered by that at all, or is he completely over those?
James looks good. You know, he didn't, even though he was sitting out with a walking boot and cast, you know, he kept his weight down. He seemed to come back, you know, ready to play. He didn't, you know, get heavy over the summer because he wasn't able to work out. He looked great when he got here, and he's practicing really well right now. Shooting the ball extremely well. I know in the scrimmage in one of the segments, he answered the challenge. He wanted to guard Jamal. Did a really nice job on him. James was one of our better defenders last year. And so I think James is ready for a really, really good senior season.
And Coach, in hindsight, how much did that lingering foot injury bother him last season?
You know, I don't think James would admit that it bothered him at all. But obviously we all know his shooting percentage dropped from his sophomore year to his junior year. He shot almost 40% from 3 his sophomore year. So everyone's looking for a reason. Maybe it was because the defenses played closer attention to him and guarded him with a better defender. Maybe it was the foot was bothering him a little bit where he couldn't get the same lift on his shot he got the year before. So I think this year will tell us a lot as to if it was the foot or not, or if it was the defenses they put on him. I think, you know, we'll see if James continues to shoot the ball like he did 2 years ago, where he's up in the high 30s for us.
Anything else for Coach? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.